Many folks are wrong about what they think is healthy, and it pairs me up so much that we're going to use this tier ranking format that's so popular on YouTube. My team gathered 17 superfoods, and we're going to rank them on how good they really are for your metabolism. Rankings will range from the hidden dangers to best, and in the middle, I have a hedge that's called a youth pass. I think it goes without saying that you do not get to use a youth pass if you're old. All right, let's get into it. Blueberries. Yeah, this is a pet peeve of mine. They have a great marketing team. For this answer, I'm going to talk about the blueberries that come from like northern Canada, right off of the bush where a bear was about to eat them. So they don't have as much pulp, but they have that skin where everybody says it's got polyphenols. They're so healthy for me. I'm eating them to prevent danger to my brain. But what all fruit has is fructose and sugar, which in small amounts, and in fairness, these tiny berries are small. The small amount doesn't do too much damage, but in the bioengineered ones that we find in the grocery store, it is so easy to eat the whole basket of them. Ask me how I know. Yeah. So I would put these in. I mean, I don't want to go all the way to hidden danger. So I think I would park it in maybe youth pass because if you're not obese and you're trying to find something great for your kids to eat, yeah, they probably can get away with it. But if you have ever been overweight or insulin resistant, that fructose is going to be a way to pack on the pounds. And it isn't long before they're overeating them. So they're not on my menu. I would be careful with those non-fat Greek yogurt. Okay, oh, I have so many patients tell me that this is on their menu and they think it's super healthy. But when you take out all the fat, I mean, yogurt is fermented. So you're just fermenting a bunch of carbs, and the nutritional content of that is awful. And unfortunately, it sparks an insulin response that's way more than what my patients expect it to be. So when I have them wearing a glucose monitor and they eat this stuff, it's not something that I would put at the top of the menu for sure. So right? So I guess I would call it good because I don't want to give it a youth pass. I want the youth to be practicing more nutrient dense food than that. I don't move it to best by any means. Okay. It's super hard because there is a hidden danger here. And that's what happens when they eat it. Their insulin resistance and their sugar goes way up when they eat this stuff. I mean, God forbid they put in the jam that goes with it, then it's completely on the worst. It's on the bad food. Like, do not do that. But if you're just sticking with non-fat yogurt that has no extra flavoring, then I'll let you put it in the good. So don't do that. Eat real. I mean, if you want to ferment the cream, and I'm pretty sure that's called sour cream. Now that's going to rank a lot higher on my list because there's some nutrients in it, there's some fat in it. And again, these are without any added sugars. So I'd put the non-fat one as good, but if you ferment fat and call it sour cream, then I would put that in the best. Okay, this is sardines and oil. Sardines and oil. Oh, this is best. This is best. Not only is it a whole food, so it's not like the super particle protein that sometimes people say is healthy. No, it's a real whole food protein. And when you put it in oil, it is super satiating. So this small amount of nutrients becomes, I mean, bite for bite, one of the best foods on the planet. Granola, it should have stayed in the 70s. This is a dirty trick. I mean, it's a bunch of carbs that are super easy to do that passive thing called snacking. And if you're going to sabotage somebody's life, snack on things like granola. Don't teach your kids to eat this. So there's no youth pass on this. I mean, the concentration of nutrients in granola, it's terrible. I mean, don't kid yourself. If you're going to do that, just go have a spoonful of sugar with some flour sprinkled in there. It enhances their diseases. They overeat it. And you can say, oh, it's better than a candy bar. But that's like saying, vodka is better than a martini. Like the difference is minimal, if you ask me. So this goes in the worst one, the hidden dangers, bacon. Oh, so I would put this in best for the years I've been eating it, but I'm going to say a caveat. When I see people who overeat bacon, and I have seen that, they are not listening too closely to the satiety signal in them. Bacon is salty and it is crispy and it's good. Oh my gosh, is it good? And I have seen people just say it's on the best list, and therefore I'm going to eat as much as I want. So when they're trying to take that metabolism from, the high carb, the insulin resistant metabolism to one that is more carnivore or low carb, this transition is a little rocky. And so if they keep going back and forth, it confuses your liver. It really sabotages things. So bacon is a great bridge food because it tastes good, but stay the course. stay the course, and listen to satiety. Once I've trained a patient to listen to satiety, to listen to that feeling of full, then bacon is this wonderful addition to the menu. So I would put it on better. Like, it's not quite the best food because I have seen it abused. It's a right on the teeter-totter between better and best. Orange juice is a scam. It is on the worst of the lists. It is not only a whole food that's been processed into liquid. The amount of calories consumed and carbohydrates consumed in a short amount of time, it's terrible. There are no youth passes for this one. It is not something you should consume. You shouldn't teach your kids to like it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Vitamin C is this lovely thing, but you can get it in a lot healthier places than orange juice. Yeah. And orange juice, much like the blueberries had some fructose in it, oranges have even more. So fructose is this molecule that is in the sugar family, but it gets converted into either uric acid, which is an amazing fattening chemical in our body, and it does not get burned in the same way that glucose does. Your insulin is disconnected from it, and it tricks the body into becoming fat. It's a trap. It's a trap for health problems as they grow older too. Okay. So give me the facts on avocado. I have a reflex. Okay. When people mention avocado, I think, oh, a little bit, but that's not usually what they do. So like in one avocado, how many carbs are there? 8.5 gram. And then how much fat is in one? About a dozen. So you look at an avocado and you get only like a handful of carbs, like 8 carbs, and you get some pretty good amount of fat, like a dozen grams of fat. And if that was all they ate, then you're doing pretty well. What I've seen people do is avocado goes on everything. It goes in every smoothie. It goes like it's peanut butter on top of the toast. It becomes this place where it is considered a healthy fat, but it's also meant to be a fat that you don't gorge yourself on. So if you're good at regulating the quantity, then it goes in the good. I mean, it the best and good, better, best. It's a great food, but as soon as you start to notice yourself going through a dozen avocados a week, you might have a problem. That's too much. You're not listening to the signal. And the carbs in there in my insulin resistant patients, again, if it was just one, we were great. But when it was one every day for the last month, their metabolisms are not healthy enough to sort the carbohydrates in one section and then siphon the fats off for fueling their metabolism. So would you call it better? So I would call it better. Yeah, that's a good, better sourdough rye. Okay, so if you're going to have a bread, it's great that they're fermented. This is the beauty of sourdough. What I always caution people is if you have real sourdough, aren't there like 3 ingredients? So be careful. Look at the package. Or if you're making this, if there's 15 ingredients to keep the shelf life long, they're probably tricking you. They're trying to sell sourdough to you when it's not really the fermented grain that you turned into a bread. What's the carbs in a sourdough rye? 48 gram. So yeah, it's half carbohydrates, and even when you do it right. And so then you say, oh, the fermented stuff is supposed to be a little better. For my patients who are sick and trying to lose weight and trying to, reverse medical problems, it's on the bottom of the list. It's not something I let on the menu. The hidden dangers are everywhere for somebody who's trying to reverse medical problems like high blood pressure and, diabetes. But if you have to have a bite of bread, it's the one type of bread that I will say, okay, once a month you can have sourdough for the youth. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to avoid all breads when you're raising kids. So if you could be the kind of family that has sourdough for every time they consume a bread, you'd get Mom of the Year. First of all, I wish I was that good of a mom. That didn't happen. So I will give it a youth pass. Again, as long as we're following the like 3 ingredient rule that happens with real sourdough eggs, go right up to best. I mean, first of all, mankind has been eating these for thousands of years, and they are it. Every culture across the globe is attracted to them for a reason. The human race does really well with this perfect food in a shell, coming from an animal that isn't hard to keep alive. I mean, it just really is a good nutrient-dense food. Multiple ways to make it. And even when they're using eggs as a transition food, and I mean that by when they're trying to go to a lower carb setting, a lower carb menu, eggs can be one of the foods that just ends up on the menu because they're easy, right? But unlike bacon, I don't see people super overeating eggs. I don't think anything beats it for choline. It's so nutrient dense. It's like the perfect protein. And even when I'm really working to get in an extreme ketogenic state, for some of my folks with like a brain tumor or really advanced broken metabolisms, we just put a bunch of the yolks and only a couple of the egg whites in there, and it's even the perfect superfood. So this food wins as best. H. Broccoli. All right, do I serve broccoli at my house? Yes, from time to time, but I will tell you, it is a vehicle to deliver butterfat to the gut. It's just not that great. I know it's high in fiber and it's got this great, like every health commercial or food pyramid has this cute little broccoli and they put smiles on it, but the fiber is pretty dense in there. So when I'm trying to heal a gut, I'm trying to get them away from fiber. And broccoli is in that cruciferous family where you got Brussels sprouts and broccoli, and you get folks that have an oxalate response to that. So again, okay, youth pass for sure on broccoli. I'm not going to be that evil, but as my patients are trying to heal from problems, um, I'll give it a good okay. It's good, but not okay. Maybe I'll give it a better because it's not best. The youth get a pass on it, and it's not the worst food. H. Quinoa. This used to be on my list of lovely things to make for my family, and I could do it in like 10 ways, but I have left it in the rear view mirror. Again, the nutrient density, first of all, the time it takes to make it and have it taste good, I think is inappropriate. Maybe that's just my lifestyle, but the nutrient density in it, I think there's a million other things that are easier to put in there. So I'd put it in the better, meaning it's better than rice. It's better than flour. And if you're looking for something on the side of the plate, I don't make it for my family anymore. But it's better. What's the glycemic index for quinoa? 51. And so are the blueberries. Yeah. So I just remember it being a much higher stimulator of insulin than I thought it was. Of course, I didn't appreciate this as much until I had patients wearing continuous glucose monitors. And you're like, what the heck sent your glucose up to 150? And they're like, yeah, quinoa. Like, how much did you eat? And they'll claim it was only a half a cup or something, but that's a pretty good spike. I'd stay away from it. Hidden danger. Let's put it in hidden danger. Butter. Well, butter. Okay. So let's make sure we're talking about just butter because you add butter to other things, which typically, and that's going to then change the equation. So if we're just taking straight butter, oh, well, now I'm going to complicate it a little bit further. So if they're on a whole foods or a low carb diet and they just eat butter, well, it is kind of gross. So you can't really eat a lot of it. And why is that? Because it suppresses satiety. It really stimulates that, the hormones that make you not hungry, like choliaxine or GLP-1, the hormones that say, hey, I'm done, I'm full, are really potent after what I would call a clean fat. And so butter is clean. It's also made of the fat that's a short chain fat called butyric acid. And that fat is specific in telling the cells of your gut to make the hormone GLP-1 that's like Olympic. So it suppresses appetite. It really changes how you think about the hunger and food reward. The other little hidden fact I love about butter is that the butyric acid, the fat that's in it, is also the substrate for a beta-hydroxy-B butyric acid, which is BHB, otherwise known as a ketone. So it helps my patients stay in a ketogenic state. Now, this all goes to pot when they throw in a bunch of carbs. That changes how well they get to utilize that little 2-car carbon fat. So I would put this in best, but it's also the caveat that you can't eat that much of it. It's just gross. I've been known to eat sticks of butter to show patients or use it as a tool to say, I can show you what feeling full really feels like. And so you have them wake up in the morning, they haven't eaten for 12 hours, and then you have them eat just a stick of butter. And of course, we don't do this every day. It's meant for the exercise of educating them on here is what satiety feels like. And they get like 3/4 into the stick of butter. And you're like, I cannot eat another bite. And I'm saying, see, that's satiety, but you start sprinkling carbs all over it. And then it's a mess. So I'd still give it, I'm trying to weigh between better and best, because best as long as it's not bastardized with a bunch of carbs, but better if they've got carbs in their menu still. Steel cut oats. Yeah, hidden danger is a great one. But God, I hope, steel cut oats is better than the oatmeal that is pre-processed, ready to microwave. So maybe you get it into, I don't know, it's still going to be hidden danger. People think of it as heart healthy. I mean, it's been advertised at that so long, but most of my patients make too much insulin and they have for decades. So they sprinkle some of these carbs on there, even in a place where it's not heavily processed, and they just make so much insulin that they'll spend days trying to get back to a ketogenic state. So I would feed it to a horse. Keep it on the hidden danger. Skinless chicken breast. H. Okay. I'd probably give this a good cause because even I'm going to have a tough time taking the word chicken breast and turning it into something nasty. It's a protein that comes from an animal, so that's whole foods. But when you take off the skin and there's no fat with it, the nutrients you find in a chicken breast is not nearly as good as what I would put in the better or best foods. So if that chicken breast is, fried in some fat or wrapped in bacon, or you use the skin as a chip, I don't know, you got to put fat with it in order for it to get out of that good level. I actually would not give this a youth pass either. And the reason why is I wouldn't train kids to like the chicken breast. I mean, that is what processed chicken is. When you take chicken breast and you grind it all up and you put it in the shape of a chicken McNugget or something, don't teach them to love that. Teach their palates to like the taste of the skin, like the nutrient density that comes with the whole chicken, not just the breast. So good, a boiled sweet potato, okay? So it's not as bad as a potato. And again, if they would process this, like soak it in the brine that's supposed to happen to potatoes, then it's a whole different thing. But the world doesn't do that. I'd put it on good. There might be some hidden dangers in there, but that's probably not as bad of hidden dangers as some of the other ones. I also might give it a youth pass if they do put it in the brine and get it to have a little help breaking down some of that starch. I think it is a good substitute for some kids that are not obese, that they're not the ones fighting diabetes. Keep it in the good dark chocolate. Yeah, if you can keep the sugar out of it, it's great. So again, the fats that are found in dark chocolate are amazing. Every time I read something about one of the fats and it links back to dark chocolate, I just think it's God telling me, see, you're okay. Here's the gift I've given you. I would put this in like better to best. Best if you've got a healthy metabolism. And the only reason it's in that better to best is if they're obese, if they're having troubles with overeating it. Usually it's hard to overeat that dark chocolate. Though it's easy to overeat the milk chocolate where they put a whole bunch of other stuff in it. So I bet that means I can put that all the way to best. If it's truly dark chocolate, you're going to have a tough time overeating it. It's not laced with a whole bunch of sugar. You really get the satisfaction of the fat and almost the little bitterness that comes with that dark chocolate. Fruit leather. Dang, somebody came up with a creative way to make fruits the top line. Again, I would keep this out of your kids' menu. So I would not put a youth pass on this one. What is fruit leather? They take fruit, they mash it up, they put it in some salt water sometimes. Maybe it's just plain water, and then they evaporate the water out. So you just have mashed up fruit. And no, the fructose and the glucose response of that, I still think is way too much for kids to get used to. They get used to eating it. Their bodies get used to storing that energy instead of using it as a resource short term. So I put it in the hidden dangers. Definitely stay away from it. No youth pass on this one. Do not give it to your kids. It's taken me decades to do this level of thinking on how it actually affects the patients I see. But I did make a booklet that has the cliff notes that's super easy for you to follow and take to the grocery store. If you want that benefit and want to support the channel, click there. Have the booklet at your fingertips. Ray Dalio, Comex, has 27 days left. The silver default nobody is talking about.